What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this evening's agenda, the evening agenda. I still can't get that lead in properly. I'll keep making a mess of it. I'm so used to saying the late night agenda. Anyway, we are all very welcome along. Thank you guys for being with me. I will wait for the chat to fill up a little bit. But while I do, let me just say, once again, we are being brought to you today with thanks to our friends at manscaped.com. Look, it's that time of the year where maybe you're feeling a little bit conscientious with the good weather starting to creep in. You want to have that beach body ready. Well, part of having that beach body ready, as obviously I would know, is to make sure that downstairs is ready. So, have a little look at the performance package, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, whatever you like, WFM 20% off, free shipping store-wide at manscaped.com, link in the description. You know the rest. Thank you to Manscaped. Right, how are we, folks? Nice to see you all in. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm wearing my stained hoodie again. I know it's stained, but I love it. It's too comfortable. There's a stain up here, and I can't get rid of it, and I have to get a replacement one. And until then, I'm going to continue to rock this hoodie because I like it and it's comfortable. I hope we're all good. Lovely to see you in. Look, there's a load for us to get through today. Obviously, we'll have a little look back about last night's game. We'll have a look ahead because the FA Cup draw is going to be on at 7:30 tonight. The Super League stuff is coming back around. We'll cover that in more detail again tonight, where I'll be joined by Mr. Paddy Murphy and Mr. Chris Stonage at 8:45. So I thought I'd maybe concentrate on a couple of the transfer bits and pieces and see how we're all feeling after last night as well, and see who can get the prediction right for the FA Cup draw. I'm going to bank Everton. I think we're going to get Everton. I don't know home or away, don't know. But my guess is Everton. So let's know what you think. Scotty, how are you, sir? Thank you for the comments. Appreciate it, dude. I hope you're well. I hope we're all well. I hope we're all good. Yeah, good, isn't it? Quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Nice league game to look forward to against West Ham at the weekend. Champions League night to look forward to next Tuesday against Internazionale. Right, pretty good right now as a football fan, especially as a Liverpool football fan. Right, let's say hello to everyone. Stephen, Neil before Klopp, Michael Manning, GSC, Tyra, J Singh. Who else is in the Liz is there obviously as well. Adris, everybody in the chat. How are we? Hope we're well. Puskas is a god. Alright, so let's look. A lot of people are going to be asking about the Jude Bellingham thing. I'll come back round to that in a few minutes, because if I say it now, somebody will be in 10 minutes asking about it again. So we'll come back to that, I promise. But yeah, there's a load for us to get through. Load for us. I mean, can we take a minute to talk about Takumi Minamino and his 2 great goals last night? The impact Origi had as well was good. Costas had a decent game. It's all W's at this point for the Reds, isn't it? I want an easy draw in the FA Cup, said Neil before Klopp. He wants City. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult draw, 100%. Whatever happens, you're in the quarter-final. There's not many easy teams really left in the competition. Middlesbrough, I mean, we might talk about Middlesbrough and say, oh, maybe that's an easy draw. They've put United out. They've put Spurs out. They've earned their place in the quarter-finals, Middlesbrough, so they deserve credit. Liverpool will probably draw Middlesbrough or Chelsea. I wouldn't be against another Chelsea battle, you know. And I think we'll probably see Liverpool-Chelsea in the Champions League at some point this season. I get that feeling it's going to happen. But yeah, that's a proper rivalry over the years with us and Chelsea. And as we showed in the League Cup final, it's a very, very close affair when the two teams play. They're pretty well matched. Yes, there will be a stream later, Rory. 8:45. Myself, Chris and Paddy will be live tonight. We'll be reacting to the Super League stuff. We'll be reacting to the FA Cup draw and a few other bits and pieces as well. So yes, there will be a stream later. Right, where shall we start today? Let's have a little look-see through, because there's a few different bits and pieces coming in. One sec. Oh, we've got no notifications left. That's why it's quiet. I was wondering why it was so quiet in the stream. Then I remembered, well, we've got no notifications on for this one, do we? I don't think so, anyway. I feel for Taki not getting a game in the final. I think he deserved to start. Yeah, I don't think he did for the final. I can understand. Look, I'm a bit of a hypocrite because, you know, he did play a part of our run to the final, as did Kelleher, and I really made a fuss for Kelleher to start. But yeah, I don't know. It would have been a big gamble for Klopp if he played Taki in the final. I mean, let's just wait and see. But look, his minutes to goal ratio is phenomenal this season. Somewhere, I think, in the mid-80s, something like that, which is pretty good for an impact player. Hey, playing Chelsea, said GSC. They're always nerve-wracking affairs, mate. They're always very close games as well. Connor posted in the Discord group. Jesus, miracles do happen, Liz, you're right. He's like that mate, Liz, that only calls to you when he wants something, isn't he? Connor in the Discord group. That's the way Mr. Crosby gets on. Is it true the Super League is back? Yes, but nothing to worry about from a Liverpool perspective there, Lewis. We'll cover it all in more detail tonight, because right now there are some statements being made by, I think, Agnelli from Juventus around the Super League. So we'll gather up all the information and we'll make sure we bring it to you guys for tonight's show. So, yeah, don't worry about it. We've got you covered, as always. I want City at Anfield, said Ryan. Will probably absolutely batter them. They won't be leaving Anfield alive. Well, they will. I mean, we've got to make that very clear. But I get the sentiment. Is the Jude train stuck in the station? Right, I'll get straight to the Jude stuff then. Why not? We all love a bit of Bellingham stuff. So, according to Bill, again, take all this with a massive pinch of salt. They believe that Jude Bellingham has told Dortmund that he's keen to stay there next season. So, look, his current contract with Dortmund runs till 2025. I don't know if I believe this, and let me explain why. So Dortmund right now are going through a bit of a transition. They're falling away in the league a little bit. They're out of the Champions League. They were then knocked out of the Europa League. So looking at the body language from Jude Bellingham, we all seen him screaming some encouragement, shall we say, at some teammates during that game. What I've always said, and I've been very clear to say it, is when Jude Bellingham leaves Dortmund, I believe his next stop will be Liverpool. That still stands. I think this is a bit of poo-poo, to be fair. I don't really believe that Dortmund have heard from Jude Bellingham to turn around and say, I want to be here next year. Look at it from the outside, I think he probably wants a move. I do think he wants a move. So I would take this with a pinch of salt. I would also take what I say with a pinch of salt, because facts speak louder for themselves. Facts speak louder for themselves. It's not even a fucking phrase. Like, you're just randomly putting together words now, Houlden, and just throwing them out there. The facts will speak louder than anything I can say, is what I was kind of trying to say. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much, but the report is out there to say that the 18-year-old, and how mad is it, by the way, we're still talking about an 18-year-old here in Jude Bellingham, already an established international, already played in the Champions League on multiple occasions. 18, that's mad. And Dortmund are a selling club, GSC. Yes, ultimately they are. They are in a good position with Bellingham, though. We've got to be frank about that. He does have a contract till 2025, and that I'm aware, there's no release clause in it. So we would have to pony up a good chunk of cash there. There's been a bit more talk in the old transfer merry-go-round as well. So Old Jogo, which is a Portuguese outlet, they claim that if Liverpool are to look for another attacking player in the summer market, which we probably will, they believe that Liverpool will look at Darwin Núñez from Benfica. If I remember correctly, I think in the last window, Newcastle inquired about him. And look, I have no idea. I don't watch enough of Benfica to know if he's good enough or he's not. But the article goes on to say Benfica want around 55 million quid in pound. So about what, 65 million euro if they sell him? I'm waiting on you guys to tell me if Darwin Núñez is worth 65 million euro, because I haven't got a clue. I don't watch much of Benfica, I've got to be honest with you. And there was one more as well, actually, while we're looking at attackers. I don't know where this outlet is from, but there's another one that brought back up our interest in Adam Klozek from Sparta Prague, a name you probably remember from when the Euros and that were on. So there's more links back to this 19-year-old that obviously plays for Sparta Prague. Again, I know Sparta Prague have some good young players coming through, but this one I would put more faith in, because it's definitely a player we've been linked with. Definitely a player that I know we've looked at. So I don't know if they're good enough. I don't know if Núñez is good enough. And I've got no idea if Adam Klozek is good enough. But we are definitely looking at the kid. After that, I'll hang it over to you. Goes on to say that there's interest in Germany as well from Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich. So, there is a good steady stream of footballers from the Czech Republic and stuff that do go and play in the Bundesliga. So I can understand those links. Ryan said, no, that's Haaland money, not Núñez. Yeah, look, I'm with you. 65 million euro, 55 million pound seems too much. It just seems way too much for Darwin Núñez from what I've seen in little bits. But there must be something about the kid, because there's a lot of people looking at him. And again, this is all only paper talk, by the way. This isn't me coming to you saying this, that, or the other. The Bellingham stuff, I'll die on that hill that we're going to sign him when he leaves Dortmund. Owen, I'm really good, my man. Really good. Puskas is a god. Said, Craig, I was really impressed with Curtis Jones last night. What were your thoughts? Do you think his long-term future is with us if we had Elliott and Bellingham? I'm agreeing with you. I think he was brilliant last night, Curtis Jones. Shame he picked up that calf injury that forced him off at half-time, because I thought Curtis Jones grew into that first half. Like, we didn't start great in the game. I think it was first 15 minutes was a fairly even game. But Curtis Jones started to show those little glimpses of class. Was popping up all over the place as well. Left, right, centre. Lovely range of footwork. Lovely range of passing. And again, always looking to get on the front foot and play attacking football. So, big improvement for me last night from Curtis Jones. Puskas is a god. I absolutely agree with you. I thought he was very good. What else we got? Do you think we'll go in for Neto in the next year or so and then he's back from injury? Certainly you should keep an eye on him, Thomas, yes. You know, I'm a massive fan of Pedro Neto. I think he's a wonderful footballer. I just wonder how many times he could go back and try and, you know, rinse Wolves as a club. So they've lost, obviously, Adama Traore to Barcelona. We've obviously came in and bought Diogo Jota from them. So I don't know how many players they'll potentially want to move on, but I hope we look at him. But he has been out for 10 months, I think, now, Pedro Neto, and only starting to come back. So it'll probably take him, I don't want to be unfair, at least 3 months to start to get back up to speed properly. Your Mystique jersey code doesn't work. It does work. Stop spamming my chat, you absolute fucking dickhead. Your brain doesn't work. Nothing wrong with the Mystique jersey code. And yet I'm supposed to believe somebody called Joe Blogs who's just been spamming it looking for a reaction. Mate, try and be original if you're going to try and wind me up. Do you know what I mean? We've already done this multiple times before. Someone's gotten there and beaten you to the punch before. So, yeah. Joe Blogs. I mean, that even spell blogs right as far as I'm aware. I'm fairly sure there's two G's in Joe Blogs. But we move. Do I think Klopp will stay longer than 2024? This was actually a topic that was brought up last night, Michael. I hope Jurgen Klopp stays beyond 2024. I believe he was asked and he said, I don't know. So let's wait and see. But I think we're all in unanimous agreement that, you know, great to talk about Steven Gerrard, great to talk about Pep Linders of the future. But ultimately, the number one choice here should be to re-sign Jurgen Klopp if Klopp wants a new deal. So yeah, I don't think there's a single Liverpool fan I'm aware of that wouldn't want that to be their first choice, to hear that Jurgen Klopp signs on for a couple more years minimum. What I do want to broach, if we're talking about that conversation though, is the possibility of a bit of a sabbatical if he wanted it. I know it's a mad thing to talk about because, in theory, let's say Jurgen Klopp said, right, I'll take a year away and then I'll come back. One, would he really be able to switch off in that year, knowing he's coming back? And two, whoever comes in, be it Pep Linders or whomever for that year, well, what happens if they do really well? What happens if they were to go and win the league? What happens if they were to lead us to a Champions League? It would feel a bit shitty, wouldn't it? Just welcoming in Klopp again. As much as we all love him, it would just feel like we're doing the assistant or the temporary manager dirty. So that's a very tricky conversation to have. But I think the club should be looking to try and get as creative as they can to keep Klopp on board. So if that means he needs a break, give him a break. That's my take on it. Klopp, number one. Everybody else, a distant second. Reece said he'd want Pep Linders before Stevie. I don't know where I'm at with that yet, and I don't think I'll know where I'm at with that till we get closer to 2024, because I can see merits for both. Yeah, Craig, let Linders take over for 12 months. Again, that's great, Stephen, and I wouldn't be against it, but the problem then comes with what if Linders did really well? Like, it would be very difficult, no matter how close they are or how good their working relationship is, it would be very difficult to have that conversation with a human being. I think Klopp extends by 1 more, 2 years max, said DJ. Yeah, look, we want him to get to 10, don't we? Like, him leaving at 9 would just feel wrong. It would just feel wrong. Tchouaméni is wanted by all of Europe. He is, Thomas, yes. There are many clubs looking for Tchouaméni. Chelsea probably leading that race. I know we've been linked with him as well, but, you know, it's Bellingham for us, surely. The only manager that can replace Klopp and replicate his philosophy is Hansi Flick. I don't know about the Hansi Flick love-in, by the way. I feel like I could have brought that Dortmund team to the Bundesliga. I feel like most of you guys could have as well. So it remains to see what he does with Germany. If Hansi Flick can replicate the success he had with Bayern Munich with Germany, we'll see. But right now, he's fairly early into his managerial career with Germany. So let's wait and see. What's happening, Craig? Everton bound in the draw. That's what I feel, Nidge. Yeah, I feel like we'll get Everton in the draw. They obviously playing Bournemouth tonight in the fifth round of the FA Cup. That's the last of the fifth round ties to be resolved. The draw's at 7:30 tonight, by the way. So when we come back at 8:45, we'll have all the info about that. We'll have more information on the new Super League proposal that's been put forward. Again, it seems like it's been launched with very little fanfare and a lot of uncertainties around the Super League. Again, they're talking about now of a 2-tiered Super League. So they only got 12 teams originally. Now they're talking about a 20-team competition with a second tier 20 teams. But again, we will go through this in more detail at 8:45 when Agnelli has spoken and there's more information out there about it. Oh, sorry, the last match is on Monday, is it? My apologies. My apologies, Andres. Sorry, sir. I thought the last match was this evening. The new Champions League proposal is just as bad, said Thomas. I don't get it, Thomas, man. I don't get why they're trying to mess with the competition and make it far more complicated than it needs to be. So this Swiss model is pony of the highest order, let me say that. What's wrong with the competition the way it is now? Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Group stages, then into a knockout stage over 2 legs. Perfect. I don't see what the problem is. And I don't mean to demean the smaller clubs in any way, shape or form, but nobody wants this Europa Conference League. That's just greed. It's just such a worthless competition for everybody. Even if you win it, you go all the way through, win that Europa Conference League. What's your prize? Well done. You're into the Europa League next season. Just doesn't seem like the prize is that appealing to anybody, does it? Although in saying that, we just celebrated the League Cup that the prize was 100 grand. So there is that. Is the draw being streamed on YouTube? I've got no idea. I think it's on BBC or ITV or one of the television stations. Maybe BT. I haven't got a clue. I haven't even looked into it yet, in all honesty. Europa Conference League is the club version of the Nations League. See, I actually think the Nations League has some merit, Ben. I actually think that was a good idea to shake up pointless, meaningless friendlies and make it a bit more interesting. So I would actually applaud UEFA for what they've done with the Nations League. I think it's a good idea. I'd rather that than all these pointless friendlies that we used to have that nobody gave a shit about. Fans weren't arsed going to. I think the Nations League is probably the best they could do in the circumstances. Liverpool versus Bournemouth would be a very good draw for us. I'm almost convinced we're getting Everton. Almost convinced. A couple of people think we're going to get Chelsea in the draw. We won't be getting United in the draw. We won't be getting Spurs in the draw. Nikhil, how are you, my man? Cave, nice to see you in as well. Cave said, Conference League isn't good for the top European club, but for the smaller clubs from Luxembourg and Serbia, it's good. Well, look, Ireland would fall into that bracket, wouldn't it, Cave? And yeah, I mean, our clubs weren't good enough to even get in through the early stages, mate, so I get the idea of it. I get that it's for other clubs to have a chance to play European games. I do understand the reason behind it, but I just don't think... Even the name, the fact that they call it a Conference League, I just think it immediately screams inferior product. Europa Conference League, I don't like it. When's the draw? 7:30. 7:30, my man. Hopefully Man City play Chelsea in the quarters. I mean, look, if we get Man City, we get Man City. Well, I don't think we should be scared of anybody. I mean, we shouldn't be arrogant about it. I get that. Like, plenty of difficult ties in there. Chelsea be a difficult game. Obviously, City be a difficult game. Southampton have done well. They knocked West Ham out. Southampton through as well. I'm good, thank you, Carl. I hope yourself and Julie are well. The Conference League needs rebranding then. Yeah, I mean, look, they could probably come up with a better name for it. Do you not think I'm right, though? The Conference League, it just screams bang average. The name, I mean. Nothing against the clubs taking part, by the way. Am I going to be live for the draw? No. I won't. We'll be back at 8:45 to speak about and to talk about the Super League proposals. For anybody tuning in worrying about the Super League, by the way, Liverpool have already confirmed they've no interest in this new reformed or rebranded Super League. That's already been put out there by journalists, so you don't need to worry about that. Liverpool have put their cards on the table early and said that we have no interest in the new proposed Super League, which is what I wanted to hear, which I'm sure is what you guys wanted to hear. And UEFA have also come out and said that clubs are free to go and play in the Super League, but they will not be able to participate then in any UEFA or FIFA competitions, which, you know, should be the punishment in fairness. Cave says no to Super League. I'm right with you there, my man. And look, it's good to know that as Liverpool fans, we don't have to worry about the Super League now. From the perspective of our club, I mean. What have we got? Great news, said Rabbit TKO. Don't worry, City will get the worst team with the draw without a doubt. See, that kind of plays against them on some occasions as well, because then when they go into the Champions League knockout stages and they get the more difficult ties, I don't think they're battle hardened enough. Kind of similar to what happens with PSG on some occasions. No German clubs in both Super League proposals. Interesting considering the fact that Germany has the least amount of resources. Oh, I don't know about that to some extent, Asian. Like, Bayern Munich are a very, very well-run, profitable, money-making club. So the resources for them are there. They just, I think they're fairer. I think German clubs are fairer, especially to fans. I mean, look at the prices of tickets to Bundesliga games. I remember one of the Bayern Munich officials coming out years ago and saying they could double the ticket prices, but what difference does that few million make to the big picture? Whereas it makes a big difference to the fans. So I'll absolutely applaud the Bundesliga for their take on things like that. And yes, they have quickly come out and said no interest in either competition, which is brilliant. Fair play to them. And same again to the PSG. You know, they were very clever, by the way, PSG. You know, the way their president managed to say no and then get his way onto, I think, is it the executive board or one of the boards that he was voted onto, and then the Champions League final when it got moved away. Where did it get moved to? Paris. And I've nothing against that, by the way. Paris very capable of hosting the Champions League final, particularly at short notice like that. You would imagine it would have been London, Paris, Barcelona, Madrid, Munich. Porto had already had it. Again, Portugal very capable of hosting an event like that. So I think it was a good decision that the Champions League final was moved to Paris. I think even if you're a UK team going across, if you're based in mainland UK, you can get a ferry across. Flights would be cheap enough. So I think that was the best decision all around. Give your opinion on the new Champions League format. Unnecessarily complicated, Session, would be my initial thoughts. That Swiss model thing, just, I don't understand why it needs to be overly complicated. The competition right now is the premier football competition in the world. It is the most watched. It is the most valued. I don't understand why they're trying to fuck around with it. I don't. I'm not against the idea of the Club World Cup thing being a bit more structured and maybe a bit trying to breathe new life into that. I do like the idea of the Club World Cup being a bit bigger because I love the idea of seeing Liverpool playing against, you know, Palmeiras or Flamengo or other clubs like that. So that, I actually don't mind. It's just when you squeeze all these things in and what do you have to lose to get them? Because everything is a knock-on effect. Cave said, from a Barca fan, I hope Liverpool wins the league for Craig and this channel. Thank you, Cave. So do I. I hope we win it as well because am I the only one, and let me ask this to all you guys in the chat, am I the only one who views these type of scenarios where you're up against the Manchester City as, I don't want to say good versus evil, but doing things the right way versus a way we all know has been fundamentally flawed, in fairness, I should say. Like, it doesn't sit well with me that if Roman Abramovich sells Chelsea, that 1.5 billion that Chelsea owes him can just be written off. I mean, that's 1.5 billion that they've had to spend that can be just written off, whereas every other club would have to answer to that 1.5 billion. I don't like the ideas of stuff like that. It just, and look, this is nothing about what Abramovich is doing as such with the selling of the club. That's his own fucking business. Other people above my pay grade will we'll figure that out. But yeah, these type of things don't sit well with me. So Liverpool, and look, there is a conversation to be had on the other side of this as well. Liverpool are in a privileged position. Liverpool and us as Liverpool fans, we're at the pinnacle of football. We're a little bit spoiled. I get it. There are very, 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 very fair and succinct points around the fact that the top division of English football hoards all the money, and that lower down the pyramid, clubs have less chances to gain promotion, less chances to up their revenue. I get that. I understand we're in a privileged position as Liverpool fans, and we're in the top tier of European football, and we're at the top of the Premier League. I get that. But at least we're trying to do it within our means. So at least our club are trying to balance the books. That's what I mean when I say the whole good versus not bad or evil thing. But, we're trying to do it the right way. I'm not saying Liverpool are this bastion of morality or anything like it. But at least we're trying to do what we can afford. And I think if we win the league, we should be applauded for that. Same if Leicester were to win the league again. They should be applauded for that. So I don't like the hate that Liverpool gets just because we're Liverpool. For me, if I was a neutral, I'd want Liverpool to be winning it every year over a club like Man City. Every fucking year, overseeing them lift the title. Because of the way we believe football should be a fair competitive sport. Jen said, what's the story on Jude? Yeah, no worries, Jen. Give me 2 secs. I'll get that back up here and read it out to you. So basically, there's a report, Jen, from Bild in Germany to say that Dortmund have been assured by Jude Bellingham that he wants to stay there next season. Now, again, take it with a pinch of salt. Just reporting what's being put out there in Germany. So Kvinder said, Craig, we love our domestic league and cups. It's in our DNA. 100%. 100%, my man. And look, can we do more as bigger clubs to help out the football pyramid below? Yes, 100%. I feel like there should be a better dispersal of funds. I feel like there should be more equality throughout the game. We can't live in our own little Premier League, Champions League bubble either. Neil says, bye-bye choo-choo train. No, Neil. What have I always said, Neil? Let's be fair. What have I always said, my man? Don't, just to be fair to me, because I'm going to die on this hill. I've always said, when he leaves Dortmund, his next club will be Liverpool. I stand over that. I just don't know. I've always said I don't know when that'll be. I've been very open about it. Do you think it's time for the Premier League to get rid of VAR? Absolutely not. But I do think it's time for the Premier League to fast-track officials through, or to look at how they could bring through officials who maybe have more of an understanding of the game, maybe former players from other leagues. I don't know. But I've always liked, Joel, and thank you for the super chat, my man. I've always liked the idea of this floating group of top tier European referees that move around. Like, surely there's enough money in football right now that we can afford as the top clubs around European competitions. Let's say the top 5 leagues in Europe. Surely there's enough scope for these referees to be flown around each week, like Champions League games. Move the top tier referees around Europe, create this group of, I don't know how many officials would be needed. I'm not going to pluck a number out my arse, but just have a group of top tier referees who have no inbuilt biases towards any clubs, who maybe haven't had many interactions with managers, particularly if we're bringing in a Spanish ref, Italian ref. They probably have very limited exposure to Jurgen Klopp, to Pep Guardiola, to Thomas Tuchel. So for me, I like the idea of a referees group that just rotates around Europe each week. I think that would be much fairer in this day and age where we can afford it. Oh, you've got COVID, Ella. I'm so sorry. I hope that you get better soon. I hope you can get back to training and stuff soon as well. Chris has been under the weather as well. A lot recently. But Ella, look, we love you. We hope you're well. And we hope that it passes soon. If we offered Dortmund 80 million for Jude, we would get him. I believe you to be correct. TJ, yes, I would believe that to be a fair assumption. The Super Referee League, yeah. Well, maybe we could have our own Super League, yeah? We're right, you're saying. We start our own Super League, but for referees. Just, getting the good referees. Or, option 2, we all go into a lab and we just, get Pierluigi Collina. We take a load of DNA off Collina and we just grow a whole new brand of referees. Just have hundreds of Pierluigi Collinas flying around. Which, that's the dream, isn't it? Where do you think Haaland will end up this summer? At the back of my head, I fear Manchester City is where he ends up. I hope if he is to move, he doesn't move to a Premier League rival. I hope he goes to Real Madrid. You know, I don't want him at Manchester City. The thought of that frightens the shit out of me, I won't lie. You're missing the start of the Camogie season on Sunday, Ella. Well, look, your health is the most important thing, my friend. So if you can, rest up, get better soon, and go back and take the league by storm. And, still got plenty of time there to win the league, Ella, to turn it around. Sukhvinder said, you're right, Craig, getting sick of the refs who come from Greater Manchester officiating our games. Season ticket holder brother at Manchester City apparently as well, by the way, Sukhvinder there with Mr. Kavanagh, who had that no handball decision against Rodri. Yeah, it's not right, is it? It isn't right. Like, yes, that impacted us, but I genuinely feel for the Everton fans. Genuinely do. They're in there in a relegation battle and blatantly cheated out of a penalty. Like, blatant. There's no accident here. This wasn't, I didn't see it as a ref. Blatant cheating. That's what it was. You can dress it up. Dermot Gallagher and everybody else can go around the houses with their opinions, and I get that Dermot Gallagher can't really come out and bluntly criticise referees. I get that. But fuck me, that was cheating, folks. I mean, everybody, regardless of club, regardless of allegiance, seen that was a penalty. And, I do feel for the Everton fans, because heaven forbid they were to get relegated by a point or two. It's madness. Craig, where will Mbappe be next season? I would almost be certain that he's going to be either at Real Madrid or that PSG reverse another few truckloads of money up to him. I think a lot with Kylian Mbappe could depend on what happens with Pochettino. It looks like Pochettino is going to get the boot. So if they bring in if they bring in Zidane, we know that Zidane is Kylian Mbappe's idol. He's spoken openly about it before. So would that be enough to convince him to stay along with, a good chunk of cash? We'll have to wait and see. Hey Craig, mate, I'm 100% sure we're getting Everton out of the hat later on. I'm the same, Ben. I'm with you. I'm absolutely convinced we're getting Everton. I don't know. I've no feeling or sense of home or away, but I hope the Anthony links were serious. We need some more John Joe Benito in the squad. I don't think there's that. Again, I could be wrong on this, but looking at the way Liverpool have monitored players in previous years, I don't think there's enough data there for Anthony for me to be comfortable to say I think that we will look at him in the summer. I know this is his second year at Ajax, but the first year was kind of a bit part role in and out with the under-23s, I think. So, I don't know. I mean, look, the calibre of player, we know he's good, no doubt there, but Liverpool do look at these players for 3-4 years, so I would say maybe a year away from Anthony being on our radar for an actual transfer. Do I think United will get Ten Hag? Thank you, Joel, for the super chat. Do I think United will get Ten Hag? It looks like it's Ten Hag or Pochettino. I don't know which one would concern my fellow Liverpool fans more. I mean, there's a couple of things to think about when you come in to manage Manchester United, and this is where I think it might play against Ten Hag. Is he able to manage egos? Is he able to attract the players that Manchester United would want to attract because of his name? I honestly can't give you the answer to that. Is he a good coach? Definitely, no doubt about that. He's done an amazing job at Ajax. Whereas Pochettino, the argument is to be made that maybe he hasn't won enough. But he does know how to handle egos. He does know how to manage big players. So, that's all part and parcel of when you come in to manage a club the size of Manchester United or Liverpool or Chelsea. You do have to have that gravitas. You do have to have that appeal. And if it was a straight coaching decision, absolutely, Ten Hag is good enough to come in and do that job. But unfortunately, I don't think it is just down to football and matters when you get to this very, very high level. Have you seen Rafinha could be 20 mil if Leeds go down? I know we've said this so often, but I genuinely think they're too good to go down. And with Jesse Marsch coming in there, I think it's a very good appointment. I know it didn't work out for Jesse Marsch with Leipzig, but I do think it's a good appointment, and I do rate Jesse Marsch as a coach. So I think the new manager bounce should be enough for them to push a few places up the table. You know, I'm not saying they're going to finish in the top half of the league, but I feel like they've good enough depth in their squad if they get some players back from injury and stuff to fight their way out. And Poch has Premier League experience as well. Yes, obviously did a great job at Southampton. Did a very good job at Spurs. You know, he did, whatever we think about it. You know, he didn't win the Champions League that year against us and all, but he still did a good job with that Spurs group. And again, his signings were quite good as well. Craig, if we cashed in on Salah and signed Jude, Bellingham and Bowen, how would you feel? Initially, obviously angry, but I'm old enough and long enough in the tooth, Hannah, to remember other deals that have happened that have hurt us, but big picture has done okay. So, look, everybody will leave at some point. It's just a matter of finding out when is the right point for the club to move the players on. And look, we all agree, we don't think now is the right point to move Mohamed Salah on, but we can't ignore the contract situation as well. So I think we should, as fans, prepare ourselves for every eventuality. Because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with Mo. But I know that every week and month that goes by, the club's hand gets weaker in these negotiations. Cave said, who will come fourth in the Prem? Right now, if you gave me 50 quid, probably push it to Arsenal. But United are well capable of it. Spurs, it was in Spurs' hands. Spurs, you know, they were in the box seat, but they've just gone an ungodly run of losing games. So I think Arsenal right now, if I was to guess. But it could change again. I mean, it's good that the Premier League's competitive at the very top. It's competitive for the European spots. And it's really competitive for the relegation battle now as well. So I think this season, you know, wherever part of the table your team's involved in, at least it's at least there's an interest to us to keep watching. Stephen O'Connor said Minamino was really good last night. That's his best game in a Liverpool shirt for me. Fair play to Taki. Top man, Stephen. Yeah, great to see Taki do well last. I agree with you. I think it was one of, if not his best game in a Liverpool shirt. And that second goal, whoo, what a strike. What a strike. I mean, what an assassin in there in the penalty area. So yeah, I agree with you. I think he played very well last night. Finn said, I tell you what, Jota, Diaz and Minamino are the future. I'm still not fully convinced on Minamino, by the way. I mean, I'll give him his fair dues for last night. He was excellent. But if he can replicate that going forward consistently, yeah, certainly Takumi Minamino has more to offer. Ben Holmes reckons Arsenal are getting fourth, the most consistent of those teams fighting for it. Certainly, yeah. I don't disagree, Ben. I think you're right. And nobody seems to want it. That's mad. Like West Ham going up there, they lose the game. United dropping points. Spurs had loads of games in hand and we're all thinking they're right there again. But another thing to keep an eye on right now, genuinely, is Chelsea need to make sure they keep winning. Because they could be dragged down into that fight. What are they, 6 points? Something like that, clear? Rita, how are you? Said, how's it, Craig? What about Tielemans? Certainly a contract situation worth keeping an eye on. From my brief conversations with people about Tielemans, United could be a possible destination there for Tielemans. It doesn't look like he's going to sign a new deal at Leicester. I've not really heard anything new on Liverpool being interested, but I have seen a few bits and pieces on United, so potentially keep an eye on that. I bet the Liverpool equivalent of Carrington has some spicy talent. Kirby. And yes, we have some amazing talent coming through. Yeah, there is a stream at Hannah at 8:45 tonight. Myself, Paddy and Chris. We're going to be talking about the Super League. We're going to be talking about the FA Cup draw, which takes place in an hour's time. So yeah, we will be back at 8:45 tonight with the three of us. Thankfully, Chris is feeling a bit better. Yesterday, Chris was very unwell. So obviously we couldn't bring him on after the match. So great to hear that Chris is back, feeling better. And we'll have him on tonight. Bowen or bust? Oh, I like Bowen. So, Jack, I would happily take Jarrod Bowen at Liverpool, mate. I mean, he's right up there at the top of my list of targets. Liverpool versus United postponed. I know, unfortunately. So, because we beat Norwich last night in the FA Cup, the FA Cup's quarter-final round will unfortunately fall that weekend when we were supposed to play Manchester United. I don't know how I feel about it because, selfishly, I'm going away on the 21st of March for some holidays with my family, and that was the game the day before it was going away. So I was looking forward to that game before we went on holidays. But yeah, we've got Arsenal midweek that week as well, actually, in the rescheduled game. So yeah, if you have tickets to the United game, if you're travelling over from Ireland or Norway or anywhere else for the game, keep an eye on the situation, because that game last night does mean that our game is going to be rescheduled, the game against United. Who is your number one target? Jude Bellingham. I just think we're a midfielder, potentially a forward, depending on what goes on with the boy. Like, I've no problem keeping the 5 first team forwards we have now. Firmino, Salah, Mane, Jota, Diaz. I'm all in. Sign them lads up and I'm happy. But if one of them was to move on, I would like another forward. And then you have to look at the right back situation. Is Connor Bradley going to be the backup for Trent moving forward? What's the story with Nico Williams after his loan at Fulham? I think that has to be addressed. Favourite comedian? I don't think I have one, but like Jim Jeffries, I absolutely love. Mickey Flanagan, I absolutely love. Kevin Bridges is probably the answer. Yeah, I'd say Kevin Bridges. He's certainly the one I've seen live the most. I think I've seen Kevin Bridges 3 or 4 times. How am I feeling for the West Ham game on Saturday? Like, we owe them. They beat us and beat us fairly and beat us well earlier on in the season. So yeah, I'd like to think that we want to get those 3 points back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good competitive game. Yeah. Some great shouts. Bill Burr, amazing comedian as well, Keegan. Peter Kay, everybody loves Peter Kay. I mean, if you don't like Peter Kay, give up. But Kevin Bridges is just next level to be. He's amazing. And he personally took the piss out of me at a gig as well, which I liked. So I'm a few hours ahead, so it's the draw taking place. Not kind of how it works, Adam, no. An hour to go, buddy. The draw's in 1 hour. So 7:30 UK Irish time. I can't see us signing a backup right back as no one gets in Trent level. You could have made that argument though, DJ, for Robbo. Remember that season Robbo and Trent broke all assist records. I wouldn't have thought that we could bring in anybody who would be able to push Robbo, but Costas has been a fantastic signing. And yeah, it took him probably a little bit longer than we'd hoped to settle in because of injury, COVID and stuff. But I would argue that it was a similar situation and the club managed to find somebody who came in and has been a fantastic backup and a great addition to the squad. So hopefully we could do something similar with Trent. Because look, there's enough games. Liverpool play 65 odd games a season. You would imagine that there will be 20, 25 games there for somebody. You have to sell one of the front three this summer. Bad business to leave loads of players going for free when they're 32, 35. Yeah, well, if that's the case, I would imagine it's going to be Mane that goes this summer. That would be my guess of the front three. If we to move one, I think it will be Mane. Do we think we'll get Rafinha if Salah stays? Personally, pointless, same position, less time. I want Bowen ahead of Rafinha. That's my honest opinion. If you offered me either one of them, I'd take Jarrod Bowen over Rafinha. I just think Jarrod Bowen's versatility just edges it for me. Plus, I was a little bit concerned to see Rafinha's head drop when we were destroying Leeds. I didn't like it because we didn't see that in other games. Didn't see Bellingham's head dropping when Dortmund were getting beaten by Rangers. I did. These things matter to me. West Ham slapped 75 million Bowen's head won't touch. I'm not saying we'll sign him, DJ. I'm just saying my preference would be to sign Jarrod Bowen. Bowen is 23? Is that right? Is he around 23, Jarrod Bowen? Actually don't know, top of my head. 23, 24, I would imagine. When's the next FIFA stream? So we're in a really awkward position. The way I like to be really honest with you guys on every stream. I don't hide shit. He's just 25. There you go. Perfect. Liverpool age. 25. Look, Jota, 25. Diaz, 25. So definitely in the age bracket. Have I seen the Darwin Núñez links? I have. I don't, honestly, Grant, I don't know much about Núñez. Well, he only plays at Benfica. So yeah, I mean, I have no idea, buddy. Is the honest answer. Yeah. So on the FIFA stream, sorry. So we're in a really awkward position this month with Twitch. So I don't know how familiar people are with the deals that most people get on Twitch. So there's a thing called the Sports Accelerator program, which you go on to. I mean, Paddy was on it. We were on it for 3 months. And basically you get a revenue for the amount of hours. I mean, this is public information. Anybody can find this. You get a fee for the watch time you get. So basically, let's say you were to get 1,000 minutes of watch time. It works out at about, I think it's $5, something like that, per 1,000 minutes. So our deal with Twitch on that ended on the 28th of February. So this month, there's absolutely no incentive for us to stream on Twitch. None. For the entire month. Now, we were talking to Twitch today because, well, I can't say really. Watch this space, I can say. But so it looks like we could be back at it from April the 1st. We're trying to get that sorted. But yeah, right now, we just don't make any money if we go across to Twitch. And normally, I wouldn't give a shit about that. That wouldn't stop me normally because I don't take a wage from this. But we do have bills to pay, as in we have creators to pay. We've got tech people to pay. We've got other stuff to pay. So now that we've grown a bit, these things do matter. So hopefully it gets resolved and we're back on there next month. That's the plan. But there's bigger conversations afoot that, again, without going into detail, is kind of the reason why we aren't on that other program. So all I can say is watch this space. Could be a big announcement in inside the next month. A big announcement. So all I can say is just watch this space. And yeah, we could be about to go up a level. So just keep your fingers crossed for us. That's all I'm saying. But on the FIFA thing, look, I'll try out of just fairness to jump back across and do a few streams. You don't take a wage, Craig? No, I don't, Ben. I've never taken a wage from Anfield Agenda. Connor takes a wage. Paddy and Chris get paid their rate for what they do. But no, because of the fact that I'm on disability, buddy, it would be cheating the system, and I don't do it. And we're not in a position where we could cover everything at the minute either. So, I mean, I'm hoping with this watch this space stuff, I'll be able to actually knock that on the head in yeah, look, I wish I could say more. But yeah, just keep an eye. Could have a nice announcement coming up in the next few weeks. That will change the landscape for Anfield Agenda moving forward in a positive way. Ancelotti surprise candidate for the United job. I'd seen that in the paper reports last night, Edris, that he was mentioned. I mean, they could do worse than bringing in Carlo Ancelotti. You should do a football manager stream. That's a Chris Stonage thing. He's a big football manager head. Look, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leg it because I've got some stuff to get sorted out and information to find out about. But tonight, 8:45, myself, Chris Stonage, Mr. Paddy Murphy, we will be live. We'll be looking at the Super League reaction. We'll be reacting to the FA Cup quarter-final draw as well, and lots of other bits and pieces. So as always, don't forget to drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button before you head off, and I will see you guys at 8:45 tonight on YouTube, and we'll go through it all in more detail then. Sound good? Excellent. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.